It's not, we're not making money from it. So it is a public service role, and everybody who serves in those roles, including our committee members, people that serve on boards or whatever, it's not about money, it's about public service. And I think that the city's getting, our citizens are getting a good deal out of the people that are serving on committees, boards, our elected officials, and the people that work for the city.
So, putting you side by side with Brenda, this is the third time Brenda's ran for mayor, second time she's run against you. Why would you think, or why would you say that people should vote for you, or why would you make a better mayor than Brenda?
Well, I'd say the big thing is experience, and it has to do with the fact that was a businessman, was active in business before my retirement, and a successful businessman, I might add. I know what it's like to meet a payroll. I know what it's like to pay taxes. I know what it's like to struggle with making a living. In the military, in my other career after business, I served with the military. I served as in the Guard, the National Guard, and I had I supervised. I was the chief enlisted person for the battalion. I had up to 700 people that I was directly responsible for. I had between 20 and 30 full-time employees that I was in charge of on a day-to-day basis. I'm experienced in management. I've had 16 years council and mayor's service. I think I've dealt with that very adequately. I pride myself on having good common sense. I guess it's my military background. I do not charge forward when an issue comes up. I thoroughly try to evaluate what it is. I let it soak in before I make a judgment. I'm not scared to make a judgment call, and I'm not scared to do something. But I don't charge straight ahead when I just hear a rumor or suspect something has gone wrong. I try to investigate and get the full details. That is probably very different from the way that Ms. Woods acts on issues. She's an issue person, and she's done good in the community on some of the issues she has, but she's probably right on some, wrong on a lot of them. But I also I'm able to, with the strength of I'm college educated. I have a degree in business and a degree in economics. So I'm able to deal with money, and we've had a struggle in the past 4 years dealing with the economy, like everybody else in the United, or most everybody else has. I think that, and I'm not saying but I think we, the city, and the people that work for the city, and our council, have worked together to make sure that we get through the hard times and still provide services for the public, which we've done. And we've done it very well, and for the first time in several years, we were able to, by being frugal and managing good, we were even able to give our employees a small raise. So I think that's my management style, our management style from our department heads or whatever is paid off in that respect.
Do you think Ms. Woods would be a good mayor?
Personally, I think that she'd have a hard time being mayor. I think that her leadership style, and I've known her a long time, but she's an issue type person. She charges ahead without knowing the pros and cons of each issue. And that's not a good leadership style. I've had countless hours. I've had training with the military. And I've gone through schools on it, and it's not the way that you deal with issues when you're in charge.
Is the city in a financially better or equal state now than when you took over?
Yes, ma'am, it is. When I came on board first year, we were facing, in fact, we finished the fiscal year with a little over $100,000 in the red based upon what we had budgeted for. In other words, we overspent. That's what when I followed the previous mayor, that's what I had to deal with initially. Our fiscal year ends in the last day of June, and we start up. Of course, the mayor's office starts the first day of July. That's what I was faced with, and we dealt with. We were in such a situation that we had to postpone a payment on this building here, and since that time we've worked through that, made 2 payments in a year, and we've got all of our debts. We're still building on our reserve. We have adequate reserve, and we're compared to most everybody else in West Tennessee, we're doing real well financially. It's not that we're making money, but we're dealing with what little we have and making commonsensical decisions as to what we can postpone in doing and what we're going to go ahead and do.
What did the budget end with in this past June?
What did you talking about?
What did the budget look like at this last fiscal year?
Last year we had we ended up real well in most categories. I'll give you an exact dollar figure if you want it, but we finished ahead. In other words, we stayed in the black on every category except streets and sanitation, which was a little bit in the red, but it's when you deal with issues like we had washout on Lucy Black Road over here, we had to spend $60,000 to replace a culvert that blew out in the last little storm. But we have those issues. We try to budget for them, but some of them are bigger, some of them are worse. We have money in reserve to pay for things like that, and that's why we keep a reserve, take care of the emergencies.
So the overall city was in the black at the end of
Yes,
June?
yes. In fact, we had a good audit with no findings, which we just got the report on. So it was wonderful. In fact, and I give credit to my administrative staff that we were able to financially meet every criteria and do everything correctly as far as good auditing principles. And we've done that every year since I've been mayor. And I say we, it's my staff that's done that. So we had a good year.
Is there anything else you want to say or that we didn't cover that you want the voters to know going into early voting in the election and the debate?
I'd just like to say that I pride myself as being commonsensical. I have some management abilities. I have professional training to do the job, and I pride myself. I'm a very ethical person. I make decisions based upon when I say something is right or wrong. I try to make that decision not only what's good for Barrett Stevens, but what's right and good for the city of Bolivar. And I have a very narrow sense of ethics, and I've tried to it's guided my life. It's served me real well. My parents instilled that in me, and I continue whether I win or lose. That's going to be my guiding light as I go forward.
One more thing. There's been some talk on social media and on the website that this is going to be an election that turns into a racial issue. Do you think it's going to be a race issue?
I hope not. I really, again, going back to my military background, I know what's right and wrong. I know what equal opportunity means. In fact, the 3 biggies offices that the appointments that I made, the fire chief, administrator, and a new office manager over here, 2 out of the 3 have been African Americans. They were appointed there not because of race, but because of the fact that it was decided that they were the people that was best for the job. And that's the way that, and you can say that's racially, you know, some white people will say that's wrong. He shouldn't have appointed African Americans or whatever. But I'm gonna go forward. I'm gonna be fair and honest, and I'm gonna try to keep race out of the picture.